It's another video. Of course it is. What else would it be? Now, this is a video about the two auxiliary Ninja Steel Zords. And I think I remember making a point in the last video where I said that the toy line, that the Ninja Steel Megazord was a bit of a disgrace. Especially for Bandai, considering after Dino Charge. Well, do things improve with the auxiliary Zords? Well, yes and no. I'd call these mid attempts of auxiliary Zords because if you are a fan of Super Sentai, you will know, or if you've seen Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel, you will know that there's meant to be three. Because you've got the green elephant, the blue UFO, the purple surfer, and the purple surfer isn't even in toy form. So they did a Hasbro and they missed out an important key part of the Zord line. Mainly because I think when that Zord should have came out, I think Bandai of America heard the news that they'd get replaced by Hasbro and started to panic. So that might have had some involvement with it, and don't worry about him, that's just the orange McDonald's toy, right. And also, of course, also in the Ninja you had a orange dinosaur, which was from the same film whose footage was taken for the monster Lord Draven, I believe. So they had the monster, but they didn't adapt the dinosaur Zord, because that's a bit strange, because had they done that, they would have been able to make an additional Zord, and because of that, an additional Megazord. I'll get onto that later. And also what's weird is that they didn't adapt the green Ninja Steel Ranger. They had one in Japan and they never adapted it in America. Odd. Mainly because probably, actually no, I won't go down that road because it's spoilers from the Ninja. If any of you guys planning on watching the Ninja, but they had two clear attempts. They had two clear open opportunities in Ninja Steel where they could have adapted a character as the Green Ninja. Yeah, I did that time in the first Ninja Steel season and a time in the second Super Ninja Steel season, both which attempts were completely passed up. So that was that was a huge disappointment. Also, talking of disappointments, in the toy line, to get each of these two Zords, it's not a case like Power Rangers Samurai where you could buy the Zords individually in separate boxes, or a case like Power Rangers Megaforce or Super Megaforce even, or Dino Charge, because to get these two Zords, they insist you buy two separate Megazords. So not only is that an additional 30 quid on a Megazord that you didn't want to spend because you just wanted a tiny fraction of that Megazord just for one of these two Zords, but also the Megazord wouldn't be anything new regardless. It would just be a repainted green or blue version of the first Ninja Steel Megazord. And let me tell you, when the Rumble Tusk Elephant Zord came out, I was really confused because I didn't realise that they were trying to squeeze a bit of extra money out of consumers by putting them with a Megazord and collectors. I didn't realise that they were doing this, and I thought, oh, hang on, this is a mistake. Shouldn't the regular Ninja Steel Megazord have a much varied colour combination? Now, in the UK at least, when these two things came out, it was awful. It was very bad because they made the Rumble Tusk Zord exclusive to Argos, which is a UK store chain. So not only did you pay 30 quid for just one Zord, you always had to go to a specific store. And the Astro Zord, I didn't see a single boxed release of that Megazord. I just saw it being packaged alongside the Claw battle station. So the price was ramped up even more just for one Zord that you only really wanted to get. That was awful. Why did they do this? Perhaps it was the reason why they weren't going to do the Subsurfer Zord, because perhaps people could see through this complete rubbish and decided not to buy them. They perhaps just went and bought them on eBay, which is fair. I mean, come on, it is. So maybe that's why they didn't do a Subsurfer Zord. I'd like to know what they were thinking in their business brains when they made that decision to package them with separate Megazords. I'm pretty sure a lot of collectors in the Power Rangers fan base would like to know that too. They don't have business brains like him, apparently. Again, that's another reference to which I won't explain. Right. No, seriously, for the love of God, I'm not going to explain that reference because we could be here all day. Right. The first Zord we have to look at is the Rumble Tusk Zord, the green one. Now, I mean, just to clarify, in this video, I am just going to be showing off the new Zords, not the repainted Megazords, because as far as I know, that they're a complete waste of time. They're nothing new. The only things that were new that were included were these Zords. Anyway, we have the Rumble Tusk Zord, which is an elephant. As with the case of the most of the Ninja Steel Zords, the paint looks absolutely phenomenal on the face of the gold and the silver, but the further you go back, the further you see on the back of the Zord, the less paint you actually see. Which is a really big shame. I mean, especially considering for the price, you would think they would put some more paint on this thing, but no, apparently. The face of the humanoid does rectify this just a bit. And to get to the humanoid mode, all we've got to do is we've got to take off the elephant head, close this face on the shuriken, and then pop that off here. Take off the body, split those two pieces, and then stand him up and attach the elephant head to the body via the clip, which forms the chest, as well as forming the fists, with no articulation at all. Again, this is how it was in the Japanese because it would have to be for this mode to work. And then the last thing you need to do is come back here and fold up the head. And this is its droid form. Actually, not quite. It's missing a bit. Sorry about that. I'm just going to say that right now that the paint on the head's done nice. It is, especially considering how terrible the rest of the Zord had to suffer. No, in fact, the real last thing you've got to do is yeah, won't stand up. Sorry about that. What you've actually got to do is you've got to split the hind legs, and these attach via little clips on the bottom to the back parts, and these form what are essentially shoulder cannons. Okay, now this is the complete Rumble Tusk humanoid form. My main complaint about when he's got the cannons on is that there's a massive load of weight on the back of the figure. But it seems that the feet, the legs seem to rectify that issue. Which, I mean, that's okay. I mean, we don't really want a replicant, we don't want a replicant Samurai Battlewing Megazord now, do we? Right. So, to combine this little Zord with the Ninja Steel Megazord, we've basically got to do the... Oh no, not this absolute knee-jointed thing again. The knee joints on this are actually quite weak. In case you haven't seen my previous video, I'm just going to explain that. Right, to combine the Rumble Tusk Zord with the Ninja Steel Megazord, you've effectively got to remove the shuriken for the face. Pop out the Robo Red Zord. Take off the Nitro Zord's arm. Now, this is where things get very infuriating for me, because by taking this arm off, it doesn't give you a place to put this arm. It's not like when you swap the Robo Red and the Dragon Zords around, where one can sit in the cockpit and the other one can be used as an arm. This cannot sit in the cockpit. Okay, then for Robo Red Zord, we've got to straighten his legs out, like that. Fold his arms up, and close the legs around so it does a fist. And this goes on here, and it's not easy to. And for the sake of comedy as well as convenience, I'm just going to put the Nitro Zord arm on the back of the Megazord, because I like breaking the rules. Unfortunately, this may seem to have backfired, because now it doesn't want to stand. Oh, okay, fine. Okay, you win. And then what we've got to do for the Rumble Tusk Zord is we've got to remove the shoulder cannons on the side. And they are a bit difficult to do. Now we've got to sit him down like this. plug him in, and I've just checked. Can't use the controls. I'm pretty sure the Japanese version had holes in the bottom, so we could try. Unless I'm very much mistaken. And this Megazord likes being awkward, as evidenced by the fact I've just knocked the light over trying to fit him in, so that explains why I have to take him off camera. He doesn't always want us to fit in this particular Zord, and I don't know why that is. Then we take the Shuriken, of which I don't have the normal toy version, because the toy version came out in Series 2, I believe, of the Ninja Power Star packs, and when they came out, I wasn't really a big fan of them, so I only really bought 2, and I think that was to complete the main 5-core Ninja Power Rangers team, because I remember you could get red, blue and yellow via the roleplay toys, via the Ninja Battle Morph and the Star Blade, but you had to buy the power packs, 2 separate ones for white and pink. Even though that there was technically an empty slot in the Ninja Blaster and the Sword Star Shooter for them to include them, but they didn't, because apparently they hate the female characters. Or they think kids hate the female characters. I don't know what goes through their business brains. I must say again that the face has been nicely painted. They've included the black on the eyes, which is okay considering that there's quite a bit of it for a Megazord head. We have to put this up here like this. Again, there's no decoration, there's no stickers on the bottom part of the star. And plug this on to the top. There we go. And this is about as different as it gets. The hind legs are now these axe weapons, which the Megazord can indeed hold if the arms account for that, which they do. This is about as different as it gets. Yeah, I do like the green colour when it meshes with the other colours. I've got no complaints about the design, because it's all good. The green does mesh very well, in my opinion, with the other Zords. The only problem is Band of America's quality control isn't that good, because sometimes this Zord in the chest feels a bit harder to insert than the other Zords in the line. So I do have some complaints about that. Right, we'll quickly disassemble. You see, that's another issue. I've got this Megazord. This keeps falling out. We'll quickly disassemble this Megazord so we can bring in the next Zord, which is the Astro Zord. So give me a second while I put the Zord back together again so I can dispose of it. And oh, these axes aren't easy to remove from the desk. Yeah, I will say that the Robo Red Zord it's not meant to be used as an arm in terms of quality control, because it's very tight. The joints, the articulation feels a lot tighter than the Dragon Zord does, which I suppose gives it a sign that it's in there properly. But I mean, you're gonna be dealing with kids here, mate. You don't want them to have it on too tight, otherwise they might break all their fingers trying to get it off and on. Right, now we've got the Astro Zord. Astro Zord, the UFO in it. I like this design. I think it's pretty much painted up the same way as the Japanese version, except I think there's a couple of minor differences on the back part here. There's a couple of differences on the transformation, which we'll get to in a bit. Turn it over, you can see basically the droid mode. And to transform, we've got to take off the shuriken on the top, take off the thruster cockpit middle section, but it's again really tight, and then you're just left with these 3 pieces here. And then to get into droid mode, all you've got to do on the droid is move the legs down in one piece, and then you've got to kind of articulate them around here, and then fold the feet up, move the arms forward a bit so they don't get in the way, and attach the thruster to the back so it kind of forms a jetpack. Yeah, this looks a lot more human than the elephant droid certainly does. I've got no clue if the paint was originally like this on the American version, Japanese version, not American, because it's surprisingly lackluster. Of course, this meant, if it was the case, it would mean that Band of America got off quite well, because it meant that they wouldn't have to attach any more paint, apply any more paint, although, yeah, I suspect there was some paint missing from the feet here, but because of that, they've managed to do some metallic blue paint, which is rare to see a metallic colour that's not gold or silver, although we do get some gold paint here. There's some transformation differences with how the head's meant to fold back into this gap, like with the Rumble Tusk sword, and also this chest piece is meant to fold up, and it doesn't. Right, so to combine this with the Ninja Steel Megazord, we've got to bring it back in first. Oh no, don't fall off on. Oh no, it's all. Knee joints are not playing nice this time. I've left Robo Red Zord in his place where he was before because removing him and oh god, this really is one of the most jankiest Megazords ever. Look, it kept trying to fall over. I haven't let it though. I've left Robo Red Zord in his original spot because by taking him off, it would just break all my fingers off, really, which we do not want. Again, the Astro Sword can hold the controls. And the position to get him in is actually more advanced. There's more articulation here because the feet move as well. Anyway, let's stick him in. If you'll go in with the connector, there we go. And I don't know if I'll even be able to do the controls by getting his hands on the controls because they're in an awkward position at the moment. Move the arms up before sticking him into the cockpit. This is what I mean by saying that the Ninja Steel line is the most awkward Megazord line in the world. I suppose the roleplay's not bad, but the Megazord's really suffered. And then you've got to take the Shuriken here, which again, it's got some gold on it. Again, this is how it was on the Japanese version. I can say that because the other Shurikens have been pretty accurate. There's no stickers or anything on the bottom here. Actually, before I put it on, I'm just going to point out that the front of the part here is painted gold. It says Nin on it, which is meant to be referencing Ninja, because they used to say nin a bit. It's meant to be a ninja, but they shortened it down to nin. So they left that in, which I suppose they had no choice to. That goes on top, and of course this final piece is actually a blaster, which can be held by the Megazord, and it's really. Oh, hang on. Oh my god. Oh my god. In the show, they have the Robo Red Zord holding it in Japan as well, but the front part of the blaster here is molded so that the Robo Red's circle joint here, this little joint right here, prevents it from going in the arm slot. So it's been under-engineered as per usual, but we can always get the dragon to hold it, why not? There we go. Astro Megazord doesn't add quite a bit of colour compared to the the Elephant Zord. Yeah, the grey, in my opinion, just falls flat. It just doesn't work in my opinion. The green does though, because green fits better, in my opinion, with the yellow. But yeah, this Megazord's construction isn't looking so hot because if some kid, for example, tries to insert the gun into Robo Red's hand after seeing the combination being done on the TV, they might just end up breaking the part of the plastic off their Robo Red figure. Yeah, so they've fluffed that up a bit, haven't they? Which isn't really a good sign. Right. So before I go, because the next video is going to be the Bull Rider Megazord, about the Bull Rider Megazord, I'm just going to show something off really quickly. to do with that Megazord when I've reassembled the Astro Zord. Come on. Oh, it's in there really tight as well. Quality control's not too good. I will show something off of that roundabout now. So you've got the regular Ninja Steel Megazord here. Now what I'm about to do wasn't in the show, it wasn't done in the Ninja, but if you have the Bull Rider Megazord, you will know it comes with the Robo Rider Zord. So by taking the Zord and also by taking the Bull Rider Shuriken, it's really on there really tight. Also by taking the gun, you can effectively do something like this. Now, yeah, it does work. There are some clips on the back of this Zord to fit inside of here, as you can see it's in there tightly. So that makes me think they intended for this to happen. They never advertised it though. Then by taking the Shuriken and also by making that. See, this is why I do not trust this Megazord, because it keeps falling over. We can take the gun, which of course won't fit into the Robo Red's hand. It fit into the Dragon's hand. Yes, it will. We can successfully achieve what I'm calling the Bull Rider. No, the Bison King Shuriken Jin Bison. I'm not coming up with a Power Rangers equivalent name because, I don't know, just doesn't deserve one at this point. As you can probably see, the helmet is too small. As you can kind of see a bit of the Robo Rider Zord face peeking out there. And yes, I know there's another clip on the Zord. Can it hold it as like an additional weapon? Yes, it can. It's got a mini sword weapon now, innit? See? It kind of works for like a super weapon, except isn't this sword a bit too heavy? Yes, it is. Anyway, with that horrifying with that horrifying complaint about quality control over, I think I should end this video and introduce the next Megazord I'll be showing off, which, as you would know by now, is the Bull Rider Megazord. So, see you next time. Oh, and yeah, spoiler alert, this Megazord here is a lot better in quality control. TNS.